hurt you anymore. No one will.
Hey there, my name is Deltah and welcome back to another Division Heartland video. If you're not aware, the Division Heartland is a free-to-play multiplayer battle royale set in the Division universe with escape from Tarkov-like survival features. We don't know exactly when the game will release, but I wanted to talk about some key metrics and some things that Heartland must do to make the most of its unlimited potential. But before we get into that, I just want to say thank you for the recent support on my last few videos. You guys are absolutely smashing it and I can't thank you guys enough for that. And without further ado, let's hop right into why the Division Heartland has unlimited potential. So you guys might be wondering, what are the metrics of success for a free-to-play video game? Well, first of all, I've compiled a list of things that I want to discuss, and I did a little research into what makes a game successful in a publisher's eyes. So the first and most important thing that encompasses a lot of other metrics is market penetration. Market penetration is a measure of how much a product or service, in this case the Division Heartland, is being used by customers compared to the total estimated market for that product or service. Basically, this is a measure of how far the Division Heartland can get outside of the Division's niche. While we all know that the Division 1's survival mode existed before the Battle Royale craze of 2017 and beyond, the Division Heartland represents Ubisoft's last remaining attempt to get into the Battle Royale market. And with rumors flying around about potential reworks to the Division Heartland to make it the best game possible, before it comes out and taints people's opinions of the game and the publisher even more, Ubisoft and the developers at Red Storm seem to be developing the game in such a way where it can maximize its market penetration. Other important metrics that will play a part in the Division Heartland's successful release include the number of players at launch and how many of these players actually play the game year over year, week over week, month over month, which to me points to the fact that the Division Heartland will be retaining players instead of losing them, new Ubisoft accounts created, sales, copies of the game sold, etc., time spent in the game, how long these players play after downloading initially. All of these key metrics will determine the game's longevity and how long Ubisoft will support the Division Heartland in a space where they have cancelled other games in the same genre. Here's how the Division Heartland can maximize these key performance indicators for the game and make it one of the most successful games in the Division franchise. We all want to see the Division Heartland succeed, unless of course you're a hater, which in that case, why are you still here? Just kidding, please don't click off, I'm begging. Free to play. One of the biggest and most important aspects of the Division Heartland is its status as a free to play multiplayer game. This means that, in addition to capturing many of the existing Division fans, the free-to-play Battle Royale aspect of this game sets it in a completely new territory regarding the game's potential market. Basically, and I know that this is a little difficult as a Division fan, but we have to look at the Division Heartland as not necessarily a Division game, which means the success of the game will be measured on how good of a Battle Royale is the Division Heartland, not necessarily how good of a Division game is the Division Heartland. The Division Heartland's status as a free-to-play game may seem like a huge positive and signify a lot of upside to the Division Heartland, and it is, but there are some distinct downsides to having free-to-play monetization models as well, which I'll get into. First of all, let's talk about the positives. Firstly, there are little to no monetary barriers to entry for the game, which is obviously a good thing. People will be more likely to try out the game if it's free because it's only going to cost them time, not money, which basically means to maximize its potential, the Division Heartland has to respect the player's time. Let's address the large elephant in the room, that being monetization. One of the biggest things that gamers are especially averse to are monetization tactics by publishers. Publishers generally tend to be very obsessed and concerned with the bottom line of the game, being how much money does the game make. The developers and artists are the ones who are concerned with making great, rewarding, and fun gameplay loops, which I'm sure is going to be in the Division Heartland. Obviously, it's not going to be an unfun game to play, but it doesn't necessarily matter how fun a game is to play if you don't feel like your time and money is being respected by the publisher. The case in point for this argument is EA's Star Wars Battlefront 2 released in 2017. Star Wars Battlefront 2, while super fun, was riddled with microtransactions and loot boxes. Not only was it filled with predatory monetization tactics, the grind was ridiculous and players' time was not being respected. I mean, it took 40 hours to grind for the Darth Vader legendary card. It was ridiculous and it was not fun to play in that sense. Sure, the gameplay loop was pretty fun and when I played it, I had a good time, but to play the cool characters, like you want to play Star Wars, you want to play as Darth Vader, you want to play as the cool characters, but it just didn't work like that unless you paid for it. But as of right now, much of the Division Heartland's gameplay details are obscured from view, and we do not know what exactly is coming from a monetization standpoint and how that will interact with the core gameplay loop. Since the game is free, there's almost guaranteed to be some type of seasonal battle pass, and most likely going to be some type of cosmetic shop where you can buy exclusive content for weapons and for your character. The key point to note here is that monetization cannot impact gameplay whatsoever. In this vein, I do believe you can do paid exclusive content that encompasses cosmetics, which I believe exists in Destiny, arguably the biggest free-to-play looter shooter that exists in the market today. But I digress. The Eververse has a particularly precarious situation within the Destiny community, so I don't exactly feel the most comfortable citing them as an example. What I would recommend for the Division Heartland is making cosmetics work the way they do in the Division 2. The way cosmetics work in the Division 2 are very good at the moment. Everything in the seasonal track is earnable through a relatively reasonable grind. So in my opinion, I believe that they should take the way Division 2's cosmetic system works and put it right into the Division Heartland. They already have a working system. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Obviously, the developers need to make money to continue funding the development of the game and make it the best game it can be, and this will incentivize the developers to create cool universal skins so that people will want to play the game and look cool, because at the end of the day, gamers love to look cool. The second point to note here is that there needs to be a revamped anti-cheat system. Free-to-play games are notoriously the target for cheaters because of the low barriers to entry. Free-to-play is great for the normal gamer, but it does have the double-edged sword of being the target of cheaters. I don't know what the exact solution is for this, whether it's banning IP addresses so someone cheating on an IP address cannot use that IP address to log into the game, they'll have to go somewhere else. But that also comes with its own risks. But there are systems that can be effective at banning cheaters that Ubisoft already uses. BattlEye is a big one that comes to mind. The Division 2 uses Easy Anti-Cheat, but many people cite issues with that, so I don't know if Easy Anti-Cheat is the best solution. Both Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege and Destiny 2 both use BattlEye, so if the success of both of those games is any indication of the systems that they use, BattlEye is probably a great choice. And just having a dedicated anti-cheat would go a long way to harmonize the developers and the community, and helps to preserve and keep the player's experience intact. Anyways, these are the biggest things that come to my mind that will influence the success of the Division Heartland. Like I said, I believe the Division Heartland has unlimited potential to be one of the best games on the market, not necessarily just a Division game, but one of the best games to come out of 2022. But as I've said, the success of Heartland is dependent on a number of key factors, and by extension, so is the success of the Division name and how it depends on the Division Heartland. It's not as sure as we think, because after year 5 of the Division 2, there's just nothing. The Division Heartland needs to be that kind of game that can step in and fill that gap. As always guys, let me know what you think of the video. I absolutely want to have a discussion with you about what I've talked about here. If you guys enjoyed, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, as it always helps me out. It's 1 small second for you, and to me it means a whole lot. So I'll see you guys in the next one. I've got a bunch of videos planned out. I actually have a Destiny video in mind if you guys are interested, and if you guys want to see me talk about anything, don't be afraid to just leave it in the comment section below. Alrighty guys, I've taken up enough of your time, now get out of here. Alright, Deltah out. Peace.